It's Mel. I've been asked to do a Nukaland video. It is the, let's see, it is the second to last phase time. So I went to the Nukaland page thing, and you don't have to sign up now. You go to the thing and you can see the relocate thing. I was actually waiting for my gathering to finish, and then I'm going to go and relocate, confirm. And then for Nukaland, depending on where your equipment is and what you have available, you may want to have certain stats available to you. Right now it's buffering. Oh look, disconnected. This is not looking good. Buffering snake of death. Very frustrating, especially for Nuka. And I can't open my stuff. All right. So let's see. I'm checking where I am, and yeah, it ported me into Nukaland, and so it ported me into an area with a bunch of 1s and 2s, which may not be bad, but I'm going to. All right, and then so the objective is to gather, and I'm gonna be a little bit mean because I can. All right, so for Nukaland, depending on what your stats are, it may be important to kind of go in with a shield on. But if you have a shield, then if you get to a spot second, you will bounce. This will also happen when you're gathering normally. If you accidentally get a march in and you don't have the recalls, you can bounce by having a shield on. You can use a 2-hour shield for Nukaland or for when you have those gathering accidents. So if I check my sanctuary boosts, you'll see that I have an attack boost and a defense boost on. I also generally will do an anti-scout for Nukaland and for events like Valiant Conquest, if I remember. And this might be Angry Male. And then yeah, so I'm not trying to do very well. Like you'll see that like there are these level 4 pits, and there's nobody at these level 4 pits. Oh, these have been left probably because there are boxes. Not yet boxes. Somebody just abandoned those probably because it was a little bit too intense in the area that they were in. The way that Nukaland is now, they have less pits overall, so it's a big competition. If I had gone earlier into Nukaland, I was a little bit late because of my gathering. This area would be extremely busy for the Nukalands after reset for ace time, they're really busy. And you can see that there's not that many pits. So that is a common complaint about the current format of Nukaland. So yeah, one of the funny things about Nukaland is that you'll see people will seem to go at slow marches. People will go in order to rush to pits, they will use one rider, and then that will fail for them because if you have players that have a lot of troops, then they're going to go at full marches. For those of us that go unshielded, I'm definitely going all full march. So for Nukaland, similar to Valiant Conquest and Reservoir War stages, there is a state infirmary, and so the injured will show up in that state infirmary. And when units are in the state infirmary, they will recover at the end of the event. And so one of the kind of goals that's stated for people when they're leveling up is that it can be good to have enough troops that you don't have to heal for Nukaland. But because of the new format of Nukaland and the aggressiveness of it, what that number is has changed pretty dramatically, I feel. So it's a much tougher potential goal to attempt. When you're in Nukaland, you can check, people, what they're doing. You can check the pits to look at like who is occupying a pit and to see if you could challenge them or not. And if you don't want to deal with aggressiveness, which is not guaranteed in current Nukaland, you can stay in these areas of the 1s and the 2s to gather those. And then before, you could gather level 2s and 3s and actually be safe for ranking, but like now it's kind of iffy. It depends on what level of fighting people are doing. There are blast grenades and mammoth shields, and then so the blast grenades give you additional attack boosts. The mammoth shield give you defense boosts for when your pits are attacked. And then there are achievements associated with Nukaland. Was it? No. Was it Dominator? Oh yeah, they're in Conqueror. So there's this Nuka Plunder one. There's also one of the hidden achievements is like win Nukaland 3 times. There is these gathered Nuka ore. There is kill units. And then so when the achievements first came out, people definitely worked to kill one another during Nukaland. that still happens in Nukaland, just randomly. So it's not something that just stops because they have gotten that achievement. All right, and then so if I wanted to, I could try to relocate to try and access higher level pits if I want to get aggressive. There's a lot of flashing red that occurs when in Nukaland. Especially with the new format. And then it's like trying to be aware of when pits actually show up, because March times do matter here. So if you can get shorter March times, then the less time it takes to march, the less time it takes to get to the next pit. But it can be kind of funny because people will go really far and people will use really slow marches sometimes, like trucks and stuff. But and then so from a battle log report sort of situation, you can see that each of the battle logs display regarding what happened for each of those challenges. You can see how you fared and what they tried to attack with. Right, and then you can check the status of how you're doing, and that's pretty funny. I shouldn't be ranked this high, but I am ranked. Depending on which level of Nukaland you're in, and it goes by the levels of 5 groupings of 5 HQ levels. So 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, and 35 to 40. And the prizes are scale with the grouping that you're in. And then so that there's potential for perfect frags, and like they become available earlier as you go up in level. And then the earliest levels, it will be the purple perfect frags versus the gold perfect frags. And then so Nukaland, when you're doing Nukaland on off of Ace Week, it can help for being able to get the perfect frags for the hero upgrade. And see, so here is somebody who is attacking people. Most of the people who do the attacks generally will attack HQs, and they won't really bother with pits. Whereas there are some people who will then focus on attacking pits. a lot of times it will be pits that are close to full gather. For Nukaland, an important thing is that there is a bonus for complete gathering. So if you look at the gathering report for any extra, there are ones that had lower amounts because I stole them from other people or got their second, and that changes the bonus gather amount. But if you leave a pit early, you do not get that bonus. And then so a lot of people are trying to attack towards the end of a gathering to try and get that bonus, and as well as the plunder that you can get from the pit. And then so an important part about Nukaland, like when you first land, definitely check where you're located. Look at the pits that may be around you. You can relocate. There are, I think, 2 or 3 free relocates. And then after that, I think you have to pay diamonds. So but you can definitely get into sometimes you can luck out completely and end up in a location which is really good for gathering, and sometimes you're not. So you can help your situation by relocating to an area that is better for the gathering. All right, so hopefully that helps kind of cover the Nukaland. Just remember, no sign up anymore. It will be listed in this Nukaland event listing. There will be the badge that appears at the lower right hand of the screen. You can access it before the badge shows up by going through the event screen. And then there are these boxes. So during the new format 2, it's based on time. And so when the countdown ends, all of these people are not, well, they're attacking each other. But then people typically will not occupy a box until like right before the timer ends. This is a little bit unusual, somebody going now to sit on the box. People generally ensure that they have as many marches as possible, and then they just like spam attacking the boxes right before the box collection time. So yeah, lots of flames in Nukaland these days. And then I like to check in order to be sure I'm fast, like kind of like checking what marches I'm going to have coming back. Do I be a jerk or not? That's the question. All right. Let's go and see if we can see this fight over this box. Oh, just missed it. I generally don't want to bother messing with the center, but it can be, it is the only way to get the highest level score points. You cannot complete phases without going after boxes at the center based on the points available. All right, and then maybe if maybe one of our high-ranking super T9s or super T8s will be willing to record a video to show kind of like how to attack the boxes. But essentially, because it is whoever is at the box when the timer ends, people just rush to try and be right at the box at the end of collection. Right, and then if you get attacked in Nukaland, you know, a lot of people just leave their HQ burning. They won't repair their wall or anything. That's because the wall will recover when you leave. There's not really, it's not a good use of diamonds or anything to repair your walls. And again, like the amount of units in your infirmary, I mean, it's good to check and be sure that you have enough units to be able to do your gathering. For Nukaland as well as in Pit, you only need to actually have one unit to be able to complete full gathering. So that is an option that's available. But again, if you only have one unit, you know, the gathering pit could be stolen. And with one unit, that could be stolen extremely easily. So just be aware of that. But yeah, for Nukaland and Pit, you only need to have one unit to be able to do a full gather if you're able to sit there. All right, so I think that's all I'll show. I'll see. I don't really. I try to take a IDGAF approach to Nukaland. I listen to calming ambient house music to stay calm during Nukaland. Nukaland is really like one of the areas where I, just got used to the red flash. And yeah, so there you go. People try to attack you. You can try to do things in your HQ, but then, you could get those red flashes and such. He didn't even like damage me, so I think he's just trying to be irritating. I don't know. All right. So, yeah, welcome to the new Nukaland. This is Mel signing off.